The bar graph shows the number of runs for each player during a baseball season. How many more runs did Doug have than Sarah?
Strong choice. 4 is the right answer.
Observe the bar graph shown above and answer the following question. Which is the most liked color and by how many children?
Correct response. Yellow 9 is the most accurate answer.
The graph shows the number of colored beads used to make a necklace. How many purple and green beads were used in all?
Smart pick. 15 is the correct choice.
Students voted for their favorite ice cream topping. How many more students chose marshmallows than chose nuts?
Right choice. 6 is the best answer. Rosie collected data about his classmate favorite animal. How many friends who likes parrot as pet? Nicely done. 11 is a solid answer. Answer the following question by seeing the picture given above. How many children travel by bus? Great job. 21 is the accurate answer. There are 200 vegetable plants in a garden. How many of the vegetable plants are green beans? Clear logic. Your choice 24 is sound and 100% true.
Find out from the growth chart between which days did the length of the plant change the most.
Correct. 8:12 is the right answer. Use the picture to answer the following question. Which subject did the most children choose? Good job. Your answer math works well here. Katie asked her friends their favorite food. Select the number of tally marks for hot dog. You chose 5 and it is correct. This tally chart shows learners' favorite animals. How many learners like tiger and deer? Perfect. 26 is the correct choice. Based on the graph, how many more students are in the science club than the book club? Great thinking. 18 is the right choice. How many more people said action than supernatural as their favorite type of film? On track. 8 is the correct answer. People were surveyed about their favorite ice cream. How many chose Quesar Pista? Exactly. 60 people make sense and it is right choice. How many more pizzas were sold by Uncle John's Pizza than Little Secret's Pizza? You're right. 40 is the correct answer. How many more students liked pizza than those that liked chicken and tacos? Well reasoned. 5 is the correct choice.
Between which 2 years did the bear population remain constant or the same?
You chose 2004 and 2005 and it is correct. According to this graph, what is the most popular flavor of Jolly Rancher? Valid point. Blue raspberry is true. People were surveyed. How many people rode the stationary bikes that day? Well done. 150 people is the right choice. If there were 70 coins in the jar, how many of the coins are gold? Solid response. 21 is a valid choice. How many more people have purple for a favorite color than red? Sharp thinking. 5 is the right choice. Using the bar chart, what 2 numbers are missing from the table? Nice selection. 30 and 35 is the correct and valid answer. From the bar chart, how many pets do the girls in the class have? Well picked. 7 is the correct answer. How many more employees traveled by car than by bicycle to work? You got it.
Your choice 2 is right. What is the total number of pupils in primary 2 and primary 5?
Bravo. 495 is the answer.
Look at this pictogram. How many cupcakes sold on Wednesday?
Good thinking. 24 is the right answer.
Which sport was picked by the same number of girls and boys?
Excellent. Rugby is a brilliant choice. By how much marks did he improve in class 9th than class 6? Smart move. 30 is an accurate answer. In total, how many children take a taxi or cycle to school? Right again. 35 is a valid answer. How many people voted for popcorn and trail mix altogether? Excellent choice. 9 is the right answer. How many apples were sold in Thursday and Friday together? Excellent. 22 is a brilliant choice. How many students spent 7 hours doing homework that week? Nicely done. 6 is a solid answer. How many more children walk than take the bus to school? Sharp thinking. 20 is the right choice. How many fewer people chose grasshopper than bumblebee? Good job. Your answer 1 works well here. How many more potatoes were grown in 2011 than in 2009? Good thinking. 15 is the right answer. Observe the given image and choose the correct answer.
Perfect. Pie chart is the correct choice.
Tina spends the largest portion of her income on dash. Well reasoned. Rent is the correct choice. What was the total number of absentees in that week? Exactly. 130 makes sense, and it is right choice. How many more students like soccer than basketball? Right choice. 10 is the best answer. There are 360 animals total. How many are not fish? Well picked. 320 is the correct answer. Which continent has the smallest percent of wild cats? Correct. Europe is the right answer. On which day was the least amount of money made? Nice selection. Monday is the correct and valid answer. Which primary has 60 more pupils than primary 2? Clear logic. Your choice primary 6 is sound and 100% true. Which interval shows the greatest number of pets? Nice work. You chose 1519 and it is correct. Which 2 classes have equal number of absentees? You're right. Class 1 and 5 is the correct answer. How many more cars pass at 15:00 than at 13:00? Well done. 3 is the right choice. How many more cakes on Wednesday and Thursday? Bravo. 25 cakes is the answer. What percent of the annual sales were washers?
Right again. 20% is a valid answer.
How many more people like baseball than soccer?
Smart pick. 3 is the correct choice.
What percentage of people like dogs the most?
On track. 33% is the correct answer.
How many books does Gaby read from March-May?
Smart move. 13 is an accurate answer. The same number of pencils are sold on dash. Valid point. Thursday and Friday is true.
Which pizzeria has the second largest sales?
You chose Domiano's Pizza, and it is correct. How many chickens does Nate have on his farm?
Excellent choice. 11 is the right answer.
Which fruits bar is displayed incorrectly?
You got it. Your choice kiwi is right.
Which class has absentees more than class 5?
Solid response. Classes 3 and 4 is a valid choice.
What did I forget to put on this bar graph? Correct response. The titles is the most accurate answer.
What was the most common mode of transport?
Great job. Walk is the accurate answer. What information is displayed by the chart?
Great thinking. Absent students is the right choice.
In which year the maximum cars were sold? Strong choice. 2010 is the right answer.
Which game did the fewest children choose?
Right again. Card game is a valid answer. Which subject do students like the least? Nice work. You chose social studies and it is correct. The least animals in the farm are dash. Clear logic. Your choice cows is sound and 100% true.
Tina spends dash of her day at work.
Perfect. 33% is the correct choice. What was the bear population in 2001? Nicely done. 50 is a solid answer. How many total votes were collected? Correct response. 20 is the most accurate answer. What is this type of graph called? You got it. Your choice bar graph is right. What does each cookie equal? Well done. 2 people is the right choice. A pie chart is created using valid point. Data is true.
Organizing the data in the tabular form, which is represented in the form of lines, is called dash.
Smart move. Tally marks is an accurate answer.
What angle would you use to represent 40 red cars out of 90 cars in total on a pie chart?
You chose 160 degrees, and it is correct. The lines for representing number 5 in tally marks is drawn as other lines. Well reasoned. False is the correct choice.
Dash is a collection of numbers gathered to give some information.
Sharp thinking. Data is the right choice. What is the point called where both the axes of a bar graph meet? On track. Origin is the correct answer. Information in the form of numerical figures is called dash. Excellent. Data is a brilliant choice. Which of the following is not always a part of the graph? Bravo, average is the answer. Representation of data in the form of pictures is called nice selection. Pictograph is the correct and valid answer. What percentage does a whole circle graph represent? Great job. 100% is the accurate answer. Data means information in the form of dash figures. Great thinking. Numerical is the right choice. The value of both the axis is dash at the origin. Solid response. 0 is a valid choice. In a bar graph, space between rectangles is always exactly. Equal makes sense and it is right choice.
A column chart used dash bar to represent data.
Smart pick. Vertical is the correct choice.
The key is not much important in a pictograph. Correct. False is the right answer.
How many columns are used to make a pie chart?
You're right. 2 is the correct answer. A dash is a graphical representation of data.
Good job. Your answer charts works well here.
How many axes are there in a bar graph?
Good thinking. 2 is the right answer.
How do you group tally marks together? Well picked. By 5s is the correct answer. Data for a pie chart comes from a... Excellent choice. Table is the right answer. The bars should be of equal dash. Right choice. Width is the best answer. The vertical line is called dash. Strong choice. Y-axis is the right answer. A chart is also called as graph. Smart pick. True is the correct choice. We use a survey to collect dash. Valid point. Information is true. 25% of a circle is equal to. Solid response. A quarter is a valid choice. Graphs help us represent data. Excellent. True is a brilliant choice. Another way of saying 50%. Well picked. Half is the correct answer. Find the odd one. Right choice. Fundamental chart is the best answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format or... Well done. Contact Narayan Chengder on Facebook is the right choice.